So how does, obviously you have individuals that are assisting you. In your mind, if you've got I want to say a subculture or counterculture of teachers and union individuals, how do they fight their own, I don't know if you want to call it a monarchy or whatever the hierarchy is that they have of their own bureaucracy to support initiatives like yours, initiatives of responsibility, when they're really fighting against their own established power structure? Well,
they can vote yes on 3. They can donate up to $50, and beyond that it's not reported if they really want to be anonymous. Yep. So some people do that. And they can talk about it, and there's always people out there. There's parents, there's other teachers, and there's other staff, administrators in the school, there's their neighbors, their friends. They can talk about it and say what they think. If they believe that this has gone too far, we've got to roll back taxes, we've got to start to make things right, they should speak up. If they're educators, if they're really about the children, about doing what's right for them, you don't suppress an idea like that. You don't kowtow to the powers that be. You say what's in your heart.
So you've been on a lot of media stations lately. I've seen you on Broadside. I've heard you on Jim and Marjorie in the morning. A lot of the individuals in the media seem to be very against this. And you would think that, given that they're private sector positions, that they would be somewhat, in some way, shape, or form, for something like rolling back the taxes of whether it's income or sales. Why is there that negativity, even in amongst the private sector individuals who are pushing the media train, against doing this stuff? And they seem to be against it every single time. What is that?
Well, they call the media the fourth estate, right? They are, the media in this country and in Massachusetts is big government. Sometimes more typically they're associated with liberal Democrats, sometimes Republican, but they're pretty universally big government. There's not a whole lot of exceptions in the mainstream media. So, and why that is, I think there's a long answer to that question. But the bottom line is that the big government powers that be, the way they maintain this facade of a need for $52 billion for the state government and another $26 billion for the local governments and trillions of dollars for the federal governments. I mean, to convince people that governments really need these massive sums, they need to get control of the media and be able to influence people's perceptions and what they know and don't know about their government. And they, in general, do an incredibly poor job of informing people of what is actually going on in government. How much money is there? How much money is off budget or off the books, which is $24 billion in the case of state government spending. And these are numbers verified, triple verified with the Comptroller's Office, corroborated by Republican governor candidate Charlie Brown. Slip there, what was that? Charlie Baker. When that's the numbers, those are the real numbers. $52 billion, $24 billion of that off budget that they're not even admitting to. Now, when the media covers up money that big, again, we're talking a big dig every year in spending that they're covering up. Well, that's why people don't trust the media and why they're turning to other sources for their news.
So you mentioned off-budget spending. Now, I know a lot about off-budget spending, but I don't think the average person understands what the difference is. So can you explain to people very briefly as to what is the state budget and what is off-budget spending and how it's used by the legislature? Yeah,
they have, last time I looked at this, they have 4 budgets. One is called the statutory budget, or they refer to it as the operating budget, and they talk about it as the budget, and they talk about it like it is the total government spending in Massachusetts, $28 or $29 billion. They don't talk about several other budgets and all these, what they call quasis, these government agencies that are somewhat independent, but they're effectively government agencies. The total spending is $52 billion, and you have to dig to find it out.
I think it's page 300 something in the state budget, so
right.
I looked at it, so it's hard to find.
Right, they bury it, and you try to get detail in the budget, either the statutory on budget as opposed to off budget spending. They stonewall you. You can't get. They don't publish it. They claim, oh, it'd be too difficult. Really? Well, let's fire all these PR flags and use that money to get your books in order and cleaned up, so we can put it online and let everybody see what's actually there. The average voter in Massachusetts believes that 41 cents on every dollar is wasted. If they open up the books, that number is going to go up a lot. People are going to be absolutely outraged at what they see.
So why isn't this information, I mean, granted, I understand the government covers it up. They don't want you to see it. It would be very negative from an impact perspective. But why is it so difficult for this stuff to become public information? Are there areas that people can go out and find information like this and broadcast it?
Well, it's very hard to find, and clearly the people who make disclosing government finance a low priority do so because their priority is protecting high levels of government spending and waste and pork and patronage that they are profiting from. That's the story. I mean, that's what's going on. That's why they make it so difficult. I mean, if they weren't ashamed of how they're spending our tax dollars, if they were doing a great job, they'd post it and be proud of it.
Right. I know that. Well, I know the Herald comes out every year and they publish the salaries of everybody, and that always causes a certain amount of the uproar. Yep. I'm just surprised that you don't have the Herald or some other news media outlet doing the same thing with the state budget.
Well, they would charge you a lot of money to do that. I think they should spend the money and do it. They have the money and get it and demand it. The major media outlets could pressure the politicians by merely exposing the fact that they're covering up this money. It wouldn't happen if they exposed it, but unfortunately the major media shares their desire to keep it opaque, keep it closed, and keep government spending high. Otherwise, it would be blown out of the water in very short order.
Okay. So I'm sure that there's a lot of people who want to get involved in this, or at least as more and more people hear about it, they're going to want to get involved. Tell me a little bit about your website, how people could contact you, and what they can do to essentially contribute, whether it's time, money, or effort, to what you're doing.
Well, thank you. What they can do is go to our website, rollbacktaxes.com, click on Take Action, and there's a bunch of suggestions there. You can also sign up. Just click the sign up button right at the website on every page. Get involved with a campaign. Get out there. We'll have yard signs shortly. There's bumper stickers out there. There's flyers you can print and distribute. There's lots of things that people can do to get the word out through their Facebook pages and any venue that they are comfortable with. Letters to the editor, calling in, radio talk shows. There's lots of things that people can do, and we very much encourage them to. We're going to need the help because the teachers' unions and others who profit from high state spending are about to spend millions of dollars to try to drive down our numbers. We're currently ahead in the polls. We have our best shot ever of actually giving people a substantial tax reduction. Big Christmas present.
Huge Christmas present.
So this is it.
Huge yearly Christmas present.
Every year that lasts and lasts and lasts. So this is a chance to get involved and make it happen. We need all the help we can get. So please do visit rollbacktaxes.com.
Fantastic. Well, Carla, thank you so very much for coming on tonight. Very informative, and I hope we get some more traction on getting people back the money that they've earned and deserve.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. So, thanks, Carla, for being on, and we'll be back soon.